from RTO here. Welcome to another week on the channel. We're starting this week with an American alternative rock band called Cold. Now, I discovered these totally by accident on a jukebox type thing in a pub. I thought, oh, these are good, so me being me, I went up to there to have a look and see what the band was. I thought, oh, I've never heard of these, and I ended up buying an album, and we'll talk about that later. But they were formed in 1986 by lead singer and rhythm guitarist Scooter Ward, drummer Sam McCandless, bassist Jeremy Marshall, and lead guitarist Matt Lauren. As for most bands, they go through numerous lineup changes, and Ward and McCandless are the only remaining original members, although they did get back together to do an album. They sort of disbanded and then reunited. And they have released 6 albums, and I don't know if they're going to release any more. Who knows? So I'll have a look at these 6 albums. So coming in at number 6 is actually the 6th and most current album, called Things We Can't Stop. It was released in 2019. It's the first album to include guitarist Nick Coyle and bassist Lindsay Manfredi. It's the first album that didn't have Jimmy Marshall on it, and it's the only album not to feature drummer Sam McCandless. The credited drummer was Adam Fulton, but there's other people that play on it. So we got Scooter Ward on lead vocals, rhythm guitar and piano, Nick Coyle lead guitar, backing vocals, lead vocals on We All Love, Lindsay Manfredi on the bass. We've got Aaron Fulton on drums as well, and Ethan York on drums as well. Okay, then coming, the first track on this one is just called Intro. It is an intro. It's got keyboards and a bit of vocal. It's all right. Then we get a track called Shine. I like the drumming in this, and Scooter still got he had a very distinctive voice, did Scooter, and it's a really good track. Then we get Snowblind, a good vocal from Scooter. I just think the guitars lacked a little bit of something. I don't know, it just hasn't got the richness that this band used to have. The Devil We Know, solid enough track. I didn't really get into that one. Then they do a cover version of a Snow Patrol track called Run. It's not a bad version, but I do prefer Snow Patrol's. Better Human. To me, this sounds something more than what Elbow would do, but just a little bit heavier than Elbow. I like the guitar work in it though, it's not too bad. Without You, it's not too bad. A great bass line here from Lindsay, and the drumming's pretty good. Quiet Now, another song that's, it never gets going. You're waiting for something really dramatic to end, and it never does. It just lacks something, I'm afraid. The One That Got Away, it's a very lackluster. I don't know if it's because there's no Kelly Hayes on it, I am not sure, but it just lacks something. Then my favourite track is actually the track that Ethan York drums on, Systems Fail. It's the best track on the album. I think his drums are a little bit more deeper, and I think that's what some of these tracks are missing, that real deep drum sound. Beautiful Life, I do like Scooter's guitar solo on it. It's pretty good, one of the better tracks. We All Love, this is the one with the vocals from Nick Coyle. It's alright. It's not particularly brilliant. It's the last track on the album. Now, when I heard that Cold were coming out with a new album after all these years, I thought, wow, this is really good. I was quite excited, but it left me a little bit disappointed. It's got a couple of good tracks on it, but the rest are not very memorable for me. It just lacks something. Was it Kelly Hayes? I don't know. I very rarely play this album. I just can't get on with it. But on the whole, I do think there are some good tracks on here. But I'm going to give it an RTO ranking of 6 out of 10 because the tracks I do like on here are pretty good. Okay, then coming at number 5, we go to the debut album. Now, self-titled, called Cold, released in 1998. On here it features Scooter Ward on vocals, guitar and piano, Kelly Hayes on guitar, Jeremy Marshall on bass, Sam McCandless on the drums. We've got vocals, additional vocals from Fred Durst, Ross Robinson, Chuck Johnson, and the female vocal of Crystal Atkins on Strip Her Down. Go Away. Now, I brought this was the second album I brought, the debut one, and Go Away blows me. It reminds, I've never heard anything like it. It was that great opening riff from Kelly, and the Scooter's vocals on it are amazing. Love it. Really good track. Then we get Give. Got more driving riffs from Kelly Hayes. The bass line from Jeremy. Solid rock track. Like that one a lot. Then we get Ugly. Not a particular favourite of mine. It's just one of them sort of middle of the road sort of tracks. Some nice guitars on it, but it's not a particular favourite song of mine. Everyone Dies. Love Jeremy's bass line on this. Great drumming from Sam. Some great singing from Scooter. Strip Her Down. Love the start of this. I like the acoustic sound, and I like the female vocal on this. Really adds to it. It's a solid track. Then we get a track called Insane. The distortion on this bass line is terrific. Really makes a difference to this track. Great track. Goodbye Cruel World, favourite track, one of my favourite tracks by Cold. I love the start, the rolling drums from Sam, the guitars come in from Kelly, that bass line, great vocal from Scooter. Serial Killer, I like the start of it, the guitar solo you get at the start is amazing. Got this really grungy, heavy sound, really good. Superstar. Then we got this sort of acoustic style track that's got a little bit of heavy overtones in it as well. Really good track. Then we get The Switch. Some great drumming here from Sam. I do like the guitar work from Kelly on that one as well. Makes Us Sick. Love the guitar effects on here. Really strong track. A very good debut album. They set their stall out very, very early in their career, and they went to develop this sound, and I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 7.5. Okay, then coming at number 4, we go to the 5th album. It was released in 2011 and it's called Superfiction. It's the first album since 2000, I think 2005 or something like that, and this one has got Scooter Ward on it, a different guitarist, Zach Gilbert, Jeremy Marshall's on the bass, and Sam McCandless. First track on this one is called Wicked World. Solid track, really nice guitar riffs from the new guitarist Zach Gilbert, great vocal from Scooter. What Happens Now, a legendary Jeremy Marshall bass line. The guitars are good on this one, very good. Then we get American Dream. This is one of the most commercial songs in the catalogue, but it's pretty good. It's hooky, it's catchy, like that song quite a lot. The Break. I really love this song as well. It's a well constructed song, some nice vocals and guitars on that one. Welcome to My World. Solid track. I do love Scooter's vocal on that. Very, very good track. Then we get a track called Emily, and it's one of more of them melodic songs. I like the guitar effects on here. Some really interesting guitar work on that one. The Crossroads. Great vocal from Scooter. Great work from Zach on the guitar. Pretty strong track. Delivering the Saint. I just love the delicate guitar work on this one from Zach at the beginning. And Sean, I love the drums. It's got that shimmery sort of cymbals as well. It's a bit of a slower track, but it's pretty good. So Long June. Something about this. It's one of them that I've never been really keen on. I sort of try to like it, but I can't. Then we get At the Park, my favourite track on this album. It's just got a classic Jeremy bass line. And you know, his bass line really drives this song. It's really, really good. Flight of the Superstar. It's got some nice piano in it, which Scooter plays. It's really, really good. The Ballad of the Nameless. Another track that's got some piano in it at the start. Some really nice riffs in this solid album. I like this album because it sort of captures them early days on the earlier albums. It's a very good listen, and I'll play this quite a lot. So I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 8 out of 10. Okay, then coming at number 3, we have the third album released in 2003, Year of the Spider, and it's the last album that featured Terry Balsamo and Kelly Hayes. It's one of the albums it's the third album I brought when it came out, and I really like this album. So we've got Scooter Ward on vocals, Kelly Hayes on guitars, Jeremy Marshall on bass guitar, Terry Balsamo on guitars, and Sam McCandless on drums. First track on here is Remedy. Love the opening riffs. That's terrific. I think this is when the band were at their... This lineup of the band was my favourite lineup because you got that rich guitars from both Terry and Kelly. Excellent track. Then we have a track called Suffocate, which featured Sierra Swan. It's a nice song. She's some nice vocals from Sierra with Scooter. Really good track. One of my favourites. Cure My Tragedy, A Letter to God. Again, we've got some great interplay guitar between Kelly and Terry. Great vocal from Scooter. Superb track. Stupid Girl, one of my favourite tracks. It's a good old fashioned rocker. Excellent track. Don't Belong, my favourite track on here. Amazing bass line from Jeremy as ever, and all the little bits of guitar work from Kelly and Terry. Solid drumming. Excellent track. Wasted Years. Now this is one of these songs that without the strings I think it'd be a little bit shallow, but the strings on this really add to this and gives it a really foundation on this track. Really, really nice track. Whatever You Became, some parts of this remind me of the early career of U2. I love the guitar work from Kelly on this. Excellent track. Sad Happy, solid track again. Scooter's on fire in the vocal department. One of their solid songs. Rain Song, another favourite. It's just a bit different, and I think that's why I like it. And then we get The Day Seattle Died. Love the guitar work in this. Some really nice harmonies as well. Solid track. Change the World, another great track. I love the cymbal hitting on here. It's so crisp and clear. The guitars that run Terry's and Kelly's guitars are really good. Black Sunday, solid track with a fantastic guitar solo. Then we get a weird track to end the album. It's called Kill the Music Industry. Then you get 5 minutes of nothing. Now, I don't like Kill the Industry. It's really rubbish. I don't know what, it's one of the worst tracks I ever done. Then you get this 5 minutes of nothing. And then you get this little track called Gone Away. The riffing is brilliant in it. When I put this on my iPod, I decided to edit that 5 minutes of silence out. Got rid of the gap, and I do like the hidden tracks much better than Kill the Industry. Solid album from top to bottom, except that Kill the Music. If they'd have got rid of that and just kept Gone Away, it'd have been even better. So I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 8.5. Okay, then coming in at number 2, we have the fourth album, released in 2005, called A Different Kind of Pain. This is the last album before they sort of did the breakup, and on here we've got Scooter, Ward, Matt Lauren on guitars, Mike Booth on guitars. Their only appearances with the band. Then we get Jeremy Marshall and Sam McCandless. First track, Back Home. I love this track. The guitars at the beginning are brilliant. You get that little riff and then you get a lick. Fantastic track. Feel It in Your Heart. This album is full of great riffs, and this is another fine example. Got a great vocal from Scooter as well. Do like that track. Atomy of a Tidal Wave, track dominated by Jeremy Marshall's bass line. It really holds the track together. The title track, A Different Kind of Pain. Tell this was a single. It's got a commercial sound to it, but it's fantastic. It's really hooky. Another Pill, my favourite track. What I like about this is the guitars change key. It's very poignant when they change key. The guitar work is pretty good. It's my favourite track, and that's why I like about it. That change of key happens all the time. Guitar work from Matt on this is fantastic. Strong track. When Heaven's Not Far Away. Mike and Matt give a great performance on here. They play well together, and you got a great bass line intertwining with the guitars from Jeremy. Solid track. God's Song. It's another one that sounds like that earlier U2 sound. The drumming from Sam on this is awesome. Fantastic track. When Angels Fly Away. The bass line is great, then the guitars follow it. It's got a real deep sound on it. Really strong track. Tell Me Why. This is a commercial sounding ballad, but I don't mind it. It's a pretty strong track. And then the last track, Ocean. Great way to end this album. The bass line again is terrific from Jeremy. Great guitar from the two guitarists. Excellent track. What I'll say about this album is it's a shame that this was the only album from this lineup of the band. I would have loved to have seen another album with this lineup. I don't think they'd really lost that sound after Kelly and Terry had left. So I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 8.6. So my number one album is the album that I first brought, and it's always remained my favourite album by Cold. Released in 2000, it's 13 Ways to Bleed on Stage. We've got Scooter Ward on the vocals and rhythm guitar and piano, Kelly Hayes on guitar, Terry Balsamo on guitar, Jeremy Marshall and Sam McCandless. First track I ever heard by this band, Just Got Wicked. it made me prick my ears up. It's that industrial drum sound from Sam, absolutely brilliant. Then you get this great riff, and then Scooter comes roaring in. It really, wow, this is good. Great track. She said, an interesting sort of track. You think you're going to get a sort of a power acoustic sort of a song, and then all of a sudden the riffs just rip through you. Absolutely brilliant. Then we get a track called No One. This featured Sierra Swan again. It's a great bass line from Jeremy. Eerie sort of guitars, but the vocals are great. The interplay between Sierra and Scooter is fantastic. End of the World, another solid track. The bass line again is just terrific. You got these gritty riffs from the two, from Terry and Kelly. Brilliant track. Confession. This has got some of Sam's best drumming on this album, and this is the track that really Sam shone on. It really holds the track together. Solid. It's all good. This is a slow track, and it's my favourite slow track. I love the bass line on this. I think it's one of the great vocals from Scooter. My favourite track on here is a track that features Aaron Lewis from Stained. Love the guitar on here. I mean, featuring that Aaron Lewis from Stained. Really good combination here. I mean, Aaron's got a distinctive vocal on his own, but putting him with Scooter was brilliant. It is my favourite track by Cold. Okay, it's got it. I mean, with Aaron, it does make it a brilliant track. Same Drug, a different tempo on here from Sending the Clowns. It's gone from this real aggressive song down to this nice gentle song, and it just shows what a great singer Scooter is, because it's a different sort of singing. Really, really good song. Anti-Love Song. It's got my favourite bass line ever from Jeremy on this. Really solid. Then we get which features Sierra Swan again. My second favourite track on the album. I love the vocal from Scooter, and then you get this lovely sort of gentleness from Sierra. Excellent track. Then Sick of the Man, really eerie effects on this, strong track. I love the sound that you get on this, especially Sam's drumming. Outer Space, more driving bass line here, great drumming from Sam. A very, very solid engine room when you had Jeremy and Sam together. I think that's what lacks on their most current album. I think I've hit the nail on the head now. It's the missing of Jeremy and Sam. Then we got Bleed, which was also known as 13 after 9/11. This one also featured Aaron Lewis. A really nice acoustic song. Great vocal from Aaron and Scooter. Great way to end the album. As I said, this is where I first came in with Cold. I love this album. It's the go-to album for me. And if I was to say to anyone who've never heard them, where do you start? Start with this one, because it is just a terrific album. I think this is when the band were at their peak, when you'd got Terry and Kelly in the band. And I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 9 out of 10. And if you've never heard them yourselves, go and check these out. I've put a couple of tracks off both albums, so you've got quite what I consider in the playlist my favourite tracks from the band. So it's like the best of. Go and have a listen to that, and then go and check out the albums yourself. Okay, if you're a Cold fan and you've switched on because no one's ever done a Cold album ranking, if you like it, give me a like, give me your comments, and if you really like, why not subscribe? Because we've got all sorts of obscurities on here. That's how the channel started, but I do a lot of mainstream stuff as well, but we do it in such a way here that's different from everybody else, that still makes us unique. So So I'll be back later with a classic album. Now this classic album is an album that didn't sell much outside New Zealand and Australia, and it still makes the classic, about 4 or 5 classic album lists. So I looked into it. There's Crowded House and the Temple of the Low Men, so we'll be having a look at that. So join me for that if you want to know why it was so popular out not in Australia. I'll be back for that later then, so bye for now.